Auntie.
All right.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey y'all, it's Bernice, your favorite auntie here, and welcome to the first episode of the Auntie Chronicles, where we're just going to talk about the things that us aunties deal with on a regular basis and how we are navigating through life. So, why the Auntie Chronicles? Me and my girlfriends be sitting around and we just be talking about all types of stuff that we deal with. So I figured, hey, why not bring some of you aunties on here to talk about it, spread the word. I'm sure if we're dealing with it, y'all dealing with it. So we're going to talk about entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about dating. We're going to have a gentleman on here to just talk crap back and forth and see how that conversation goes. So just to take this journey with us as we talk about how we live life. I am an auntie of I think I have 16 nieces and nephews, and they range from 22 down to 6 months. I have a pretty big family. I have five sisters, 3 brothers, and guess what? I am the only one of age who is single and have no kids. So I'm going to be talking to girls like me from all walks of life. Some of them are just, I can't say some of them. 1, 2. Yeah, about 2 of them have different ethnicities. I'm Haitian. Woo, woo, sak passe, my people. But we're going to have people on here just talking about what we talking about. So these issues are important to me because I like to vent. I need to vent. And it helps me process things. Yeah, I go to therapy, but talking to my girlfriends about, dating right now and the pool of dating or lack thereof that we have to deal with. Or, me wanting to say choice words to people that I interact with in this realtor world. So here we are talking about stuff. Who am I? Oh, I can say who am I? So I'm Bernice. I am a realtor licensed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania and Georgia. I service the Philly area and the surrounding counties, and I also service the metro Atlanta area. So that's what I do for my day job. On my free time, I mentor young girls through an organization called For Smart Girls Only, which is my passion. Eventually, I'm going to quit everything and just do that full time. So that's what I love, love, love to do. Aside from that, I like to travel. I like to spend time with one of my many nieces and nephews. You can't hang with them all at the same time because it'll make you not want to have any kids. So when I do get those baby fever moments, I get the most problematic ones so that I can just be like, you know what? Maybe I'm not ready for this right now. But I love them all. They're going to watch this, and they all want to come on the show, and they want auntie t-shirts. And I'm like, you're not even an auntie, so you can't. So now I got to create auntie niece t-shirts or whatever for us. But so that's who I am, and that's what I do outside of this new thing that I'm trying. Yeah. I wanted to start podcasting because honestly, I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I did not want to start a podcast. During quarantine, I was sitting down and literally this idea just dropped in my head. And I started journaling. I started writing it down, my fancy dancy journal. I just started writing. And next thing you know, it was points, it came off like episodes. So I'm like, okay, cool. But with each one, there were points and things that we should talk about. And so I did it, and I just threw it in a drawer somewhere, not even thinking anything of it. And it came up in conversation about 2 times in the last 2 years. And I was just like, whatever, not paying no mind. And then I would say the end of 2021, somebody came to me and was like, yeah, you need to do a podcast. And I'm like, what? Yeah, nah, I ain't doing that. I don't like to be in front of the camera. I don't like the way my voice sounds. This is not for me. And they're like, but no, you talk about all these things within these organizations or in our small groups and things like that. You need to talk to the world. I'm still not that person. And then they kind of gave me a deadline to do it. And I don't like that. Don't tell me that I can't do something and then give me a deadline, So I just started putting things together, reaching out to some folks who are going to help me get this thing done. Shout out to Jackson, Emmy Award winning Jackson, not Jax on Instagram, who is pretty much producing and getting all of this stuff together. Like, he made it super easy, because I really was about to just have my iPhone on a Ring camera and like, yeah, guys, so. But one day I just hopped on Instagram and his stuff just popped up. I was like, ooh, Jackson, are you in Philly? Do you mind helping me? And he was like, sure. And I'm like, yay. So here we are. So that's how the idea with podcasting came up. And hopefully this is going to go somewhere, and we're going to keep doing this, and we're just going to be talking about the things that the people want to talk about. So an auntie to me is just someone outside, a female, obviously, outside of your immediate family dynamic that can help you, guide you. Like, we're going to love on you like we're your mom. We're going to hold your secrets like we're your sister. We're going to have fun and turn up with you like we friends. This is your safe space outside of your parents and your, like I said, your immediate household. That's what we are. You don't necessarily have to have biological nieces and nephews to be an auntie, because in addition to my 16 biological nieces and nephews, I have a host of other nieces and nephews from my girlfriends and, my close guy friends that I call them nieces and nephews. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a biological thing, but you step in, you give it to them real, you're honest with them. Like, my nieces and nephews and the girls that I mentor, they know they can come talk to me about anything. And we're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about drugs. We're going to talk about alcohol. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about all of that. Today, I was at my sister's house, and my nephew was on his way out the door, but he was on FaceTime with a girl. So I had to start asking him some questions like, where are you going? Are you guys having sex? Are you wearing condoms? Do you go get tested? Well, if you don't, okay, so you can go to this place and get tested, and your mom don't even need to know. Like, I give them that kind of like real information that their parents might not, give them. Like, my sister freaks out with some of the things that her children do. I freak out a little bit, but it's toned down because I still want to be able to keep that open line of communication. I've been there. I've done that. So for me, I want to tell you about the mistakes that I've made so that you don't make them. And if you did make a mistake, let me help you navigate through that without having your parents, coming down your throat about whatever it is that you're doing. So that's what an auntie is. For me personally, I live my life as an example of, how to be free. So even with being a realtor, like, I do the best that I can in that area. I do travel. I'm very selective in my dating, and when I do bring somebody around, I do want to make sure that the people that are around me, especially the younger girls, they're seeing what it is, like how you should be treated, how you shouldn't be treated, what you shouldn't put up with in that aspect. Like, growing up, all my aunties was fly. Like, they were all fly, and they drove nice cars, and they worked hard. They were hustlers. They were hustling, independent women who took care of home, took care of their men. And I always was like that. I'm gonna be that dope auntie. So now at my age, I don't have the kids and the husband like they did at my age, but I'm doing things. I'm traveling like they did. I'm trying new things. I'm always open to exploring whatever's out there. I'm living my best life in this moment. And I'm doing it in a way so that those around me can see it, so that they can see that it's possible for them, which is part of the reason why I even started my organization. When I was young, I didn't have anybody to kind of mentor me. I was out here doing whatever, doing the same things my friends were doing, listening to them, and no one to really be like, that's not really a good move. You shouldn't do that. So now I feel like it's my duty to not only tell them when they're making good moves or making bad moves, but also to just show them in the way that I live, in the type of job that I have, in the cars that I drive, in the, the trips that I take and all of that, just being a reflection so that they can see that it's possible. Like growing up in Philly, it's a little rough. And depending on where you come from, you may feel like there's no way out, but there is. So I just want to be that example to the young ones that you can make it out. The cons of being an auntie are people look at you differently. I know one of the things that sting is when people be like, you don't know, you ain't got no kids. And it's just like, yeah, I may not have children. I may not have carried them and birthed them, but I've been very instrumental in raising children. Not only, my younger siblings, but like I said, my nieces and nephews, many of them that are around me and my little cousins. So yeah, I may not have them, but I have a better understanding because I'm an auntie. I'm here raising them, but then I'm also hearing the feedback from them. So I get a better advantage in dealing with them. So yeah, the feedback, the negativity in regards to not having children But another thing is I'm Caribbean. So I'm 33, guys, right? By 33, I should have had at least like 2 to 3 kids by now and married. There's this saying in Creole, and my mom says it all the time, and she be like, "Pakite dubsi smuina mewi," and that pretty much means like you ain't got nothing in your hand. You about to end this thing with nothing in your hand, and I'm like, Mom, I am not that old to be even thinking about that. I still have time. I know I still have time. God, hopefully I still got time on this earth. But that's another one of the negatives about being the auntie that I am. I leave family functions a little earlier now. I come a little late and I leave a little earlier before that conversation happens. Like, oh, Bernice, you still single? What you doing out here? And it's just like, I appreciate it. Do I want to be single without kids? No. I would love to be married and have children. I would. But there's also, I guess, the way I would like it to be. And nothing's perfect. I'm open to compromise. But there's just certain things that I feel like are necessary in a relationship that I have yet to find in a partner. So when someone asks me why am I still single, my response is always, I haven't met someone who made me want to change that. Do I think it's my decision to enter a relationship? I do. I think I have a say-so in whether or not I will commit to an individual. I mean, in the past, it's gone both ways. In the past, I've been asked, like, hey, like, look, I'm not trying to be with nobody else. I don't want you to be with nobody else. So, like, what's up? Are we doing this or not? And then there's also, I've been on the other end, like, look, what are we doing? Are we about to take this to the next level or are we not? And I personally ask that question because I need to know, like, am I cutting off my other options and focusing on this? Is this going to be where we go and take this seriously? Or can I still be out here? Because I don't want to be that person that is, like leading anybody on or hurting anybody's feelings. So if you feel some type of way about me being out and we're going to be exclusive, all right, let's talk about what that looks like. What are the expectations then for this relationship? Where are we going and, what are we taking this? As I've gotten older, I have gotten rid of the list. I used to have this long list of things that you had to be or you couldn't be in order for me to take you seriously. And as I've gotten older, obviously one of the things is I never wanted to date anybody with children. I had a bad experience when I was like 21 years old dating somebody who had kids. It was a very drama-filled, toxic situation. So I'm like, I ain't dating nobody with no kids. So I really would not date people with kids. But at my age... Oh, what was on the list? So on my list was you couldn't have kids. You couldn't have a felony. You couldn't have been married. You had to go to college, or some technical school had some type of like license or whatever. You had to make more money than me.
I was with you on the first few.
You had to make more money than me. What else were not? And mind you, these were like non-negotiables. You had to believe in God and like have your own personal relationship with God. Like, it's one thing to like believe God is real, but to actively pray, do you pray? What is your prayer life like? That has always been a non-negotiable. What else? Oh, you had to have your own car. You had to have your own place. You pretty much had to be like a super independent person. Now, you still have to have a personal relationship with God. Like, I go through things. I have moments, and there are moments where I may not want to pray. I need you to be able to come through and pray for me, cover me, and all of that, because life gets real, life gets hard. And one of the things that have always brought me through everything that I've been through is my relationship with God. So you got to have your own relationship with God. Not for me, but for you. You could have a felony. I just would prefer you not to be on parole. because I like to travel. You know what I'm saying? I like to travel, and some people on parole can't even get a passport. Like, ain't nothing wrong with going around the United States, but I'm trying to go international. So, I still am like on the fence with the kid thing. Like, and the thing is, I still have hope for that, because there are men out here who don't have children, who are my age or in my age range, who don't have children. Now, I'll be looking at them like, what's wrong with you? Just like I know they be looking at me like, what's wrong with me? As to why we both don't have kids. But I know it's possible, because I know some people not everybody wants to be a baby mom, baby dad. You know what I'm saying? So they've been actively trying to avoid that. So, but that's another one that's still there. You don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to have a license, but you have to be financially stable. You need to be able to take care of yourself. And if we're moving forward, you definitely need to be able to support a family. Now, I know me, I'm always going to be working. I'm always going to be having some sort of income, but I do want to be a housewife. I don't want to go back to work after I have my kids for a little while. So someone who can take care of himself, I feel like at this age, we all should be able to take care of ourselves. Like, we should be independent individuals. But when you are deciding to take on a relationship and build and grow a family, I think your thought process, and I'm just speaking from a woman's perspective, your thought process has to be a little bit different, because, in the ideal world, if I had it my way, I would be out and I wouldn't go back to working for, 9 months to a year after I have my child. Are you able to hold down the house? Like, my bills are always going to be set. Like, one thing I have worked towards to where I am right now, like, my expenses are not your expenses. Like, my credit card bills are not your credit card bills. If you want to pay mine, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to pay my way, yeah, but you should be able to, if you're going to say that you're going to want to do this family thing, you should be able to take care of the household things that come with this children. I think that's the difference. I've never been in a relationship and not know how much my partner makes. I may not have like an exact dollar figure, but I've always known how much my partner makes. And a lot of it came from just knowing what they did for a living. Like, you can have a sort of an idea. And up until this point, either I dated somebody that did retail work, I dated somebody that, or they were in law enforcement, or they worked in corporate in a specific field. And each of those things have a range. So even I might not know, like, right on the head that he makes, $56,000 a year, but I know that position starts at 55. I Google everything. We Google everything. We do background checks. All you need is a date of birth and the person's full name to really like see the type of person that you're going into. But one of the things that I've never had to do that for myself, I've done it for my friends, but I've never had to do that for myself because I'm very open, and people who may have had something on their record or whatever, or even financially, they disclose that information to me. I guess I'm just so cool that they just tell me. But yeah, they've just told me, hey, this is what's on my record, or I went to jail for this amount of years, and this is what I did, and this is what I do for a living right now, and this is what I make. And if they're an entrepreneur, they let me know, look, sometimes stuff tight. We up and down with it. Like, are you okay with that? So But yeah, like there's I can't say that there's a dollar amount for a person to have a family, because I know people who made it and made like, each partner made like $40,000 a year. I know people who are making it where the man makes upwards of 6 figures a year, and at the moment the woman is not working. So it just really depends on it goes down to what are our expenses, what are our expectations, what am I expecting you to pay, and what am I expecting you like not to cover. I feel like every relationship is different. There's no template. It really is based off of a conversation. Like, are you okay? Like, I've had a conversation with a guy who straight up told me, why would you want to be a housewife? Do you know any housewives? And I was just like, no. Why do you feel like you need to take 9 months off of after having a kid? And I'm like, because that's what I choose. Do you know anybody? Like, your mom went right back to work after she had you. And I'm like, and she wasn't happy. like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've had these conversations, so I know from rip, you not it. Like, you're not the person that I'm going to take seriously or even make it past this date in particular, because we're not even on the same wavelength. So there's no point in us wasting each other's time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't have a dollar amount, but we can talk about it. How do I go about meeting men? They meet me. Like, I've met people everywhere from gas stations to supermarkets to networking events to being out at the bar. One time I met this guy in a club and we dated long distance, and we swore we were going to have this amazing story to tell our children. Like, yeah, we met at a club in Atlanta, and you know what I'm saying? That didn't work out, but it was, I meet him wherever. I'm a pretty like friendly person, so I'm always like smiling when I'm out and stuff like that. My cousins actually hate it because she think I'm always flirting with somebody, and I'm not flirting. I'm just like, hey, how you doing? I don't feel like every conversation is flirting. I'm just being friendly, answering questions, saying hello, not being rude. But yeah, I've met guys everywhere, galas, everywhere. Do I think quality of men based on where I met them? I don't think there's much of a difference in the quality of men based on where I met them. I've had people that I've met at the gas stations that were amazing and who were trash. I've only met like one like person on social media, and everyone says that I should get on like the dating apps and things like that. Well, no, I'm talking about, I met 2 people on the dating apps. I screwed up one with my BS. We could have been together to this day, but I was in my head about things. And the other one, it wasn't nothing. It was just fun. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it really depends on where I meet them. The quality right now is just very interesting, to say the least. I will say that. I'm not a man basher. I don't think all dudes aren't whatever. I think that each man is selective. It's based off of the individual. because I've met amazing men and I've met trash men. You know, I still believe in love. I still want that, romantic relationship. I'm a hopeful romantic. And I'm going to be married and I'm going to have my kids and my husband's going to be great. We going to have whatever issues or problems that we have because we're two individuals coming from two different backgrounds coming into one, but we're going to do whatever we have to do to make it work. I ain't got a type of man that I'm attracted to. He just got to be fine, I guess. And then we could work past. I don't have that, tall, dark, and handsome. I would prefer him to be at least like 5'10" and up. I'm short, and I don't want short babies. I want my kids to have. I want them to have a chance in life. Okay, I'm 5 foot. Okay, I am little. I am a little person. So I want to give my kids an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And so I would prefer him to be 5'10". Here's the thing. If I stand up in my heels, because I'll be wearing up to like 4 inches, you need to still be taller than me. Not like right here. You need to be like up here. You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to, hey, babe. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't necessarily have a type. I believe in black love. So I want him to be black. But apparently I need to expand my horizon. So we'll see what 2022 holds for me this year. We might have to step outside of black love. We might. I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. But now I don't have a type. I think people are people. And when you put that type, like I want a type, it like eliminates some good people. I did used to have a type. He had to be black. Black, like chocolate, dark chocolate. You know what I'm saying? But now it's just he has to treat me right. You know what I'm saying? He has to be loyal. He has to be honest. Have a sense of humor. I'm not really big on everybody. Like, how do I explain it? The guy that's in everybody's face, like the popular guy. Like I'm already like, I have a burst of energy. I need somebody to mellow me out, So we can't both be a burst of energy because then I'm be like, what is wrong with you? Like, sit down somewhere, So he could be fine and popular, but it all goes into how he carries himself. Yeah, you might be fine and well known, but what do you do with that attention? Do you feed into it? Do you engage it? Or are you just chill? I would definitely give him a shot. I did date this guy who, like, first of all, I didn't know what he did. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause he just posted regular behind pictures. He wasn't like promoting a brand. He wasn't like a party promoter. Like he wasn't like any of these things, but he had like over 10K followers. That's a lot to me. I only have like a couple thousands, but yeah, over 10K followers. He was fine. And he did show interest and we dated for a little bit. I gave him a shot. It just, timing wasn't right. With my relocation and everything that I was doing at the time, like it just wouldn't go well. But I would give him a shot, give a person a shot. In meeting him, he was really low key. Like even though he was like popular, he was private, if that makes sense. And even the way he interacted on social media, he wasn't like, every girl that posted heart eyes or whatever. He wasn't engaging in the comments. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't. So it was cool. And yeah, so I would, if you're popular on social media, but I also feel like social media popularity isn't real. You can have like, 100,000 followers on social media and 2 friends in real life. Because you're a crappy person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I really judge people based off of like my interactions with them. Like, what's up with you? What kind of person you are? And even though people send their representatives, there are some things that their representatives cannot hide. And once you see those things, it's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to move forward with that person or not. So that's where I kind of stand on it. I don't send my representative. Cause I want to know if you can deal with me right now, so we ain't gotta waste 3 to 6 months. And you be like, oh, shorty, like throw it off. I give it to you straight and upfront. Like, this is who I am. This is what I'm working on. Like, this is my life. You can either move forward and try to get to know me past these things, or not. And we could just be friends and keep it cordial. I have no problem with that. My girlfriend pool of friends. So we have married with children, mothers who are not married, who are in relationships, single mothers who are 100% single. I have a nice little diverse pool of friends. I have the friends that I can turn up with. I have the friends that I can talk business with. I have my friends that I will pray with if I'm struggling. Yeah, I have friends to do pretty much everything. But they're not all the same. And I've always realized, like, since I was younger, I rotate. Like, I go in a circle with my friends. Like, I have this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this with this one, but we don't all, like, come together. But as I'm getting older, majority of my friends are now having children. So that changes the ability to do things. Stuff as simple as quick getaways. I'm a last minute, spur of the moment, I'm stressed today, I'm leaving tomorrow kind of a person. When you have kids, you can't do that. When you're married, you can't do that, So it's hard now, and I've been doing a lot of traveling by myself, which I found I began to love traveling by myself in like 2019. Actually, no, it was 2017. Got out my last relationship, and I was stressed, and I had a meltdown. And I got in my car, and I drove to Niagara Falls in Canada. And I stayed there for 3 days. I hiked along the Niagara River. My parents thought I was crazy. I texted them like, hey, I'm about to go hiking in the forest. If you don't hear from me by 6 p.m., send someone to like the embassy or something. This is where I'm staying. My parents thought I was insane. Like, I have this thing where I won't tell anybody what I'm doing until I'm about to do it. So my mom was livid. Lost service while I was in the forest. When I came back out, I wish I would have pulled up the voicemail just so you can hear. My mom has a very strong accent, so when she's cursing you out, it's even funnier because she has an accent. But yeah, so I found this new thing of traveling by myself because my girlfriend pool had begun to change. Since then, I've laid on the beach. I went to Puerto Rico by myself. I was getting ready to go to Mexico by myself one year, and one of my girlfriends found out like a week before I was going. And she was like, you about to do what? Oh, give me a second. So I'm like, okay. We hung up. She called me 3 hours later. What's your Cash App? How much is the flight? And how much is the resort? And she really was like, I'm coming with you. You are not going to Mexico by yourself for your birthday. I'm coming with you. Like, this is insane. But yeah, so that's my dynamic of friends. It's changing. I think at this point, I am the only girlfriend in my group of girlfriends that does not have kids. So the transition from single to relationship is going to be hard for me. I see it right now. Even people who are trying to have conversations with me now, it's a thing where I don't disclose what I'm doing when I'm going to do it. I don't respond in a specific period of time that they feel I need to respond by. It is different. I'm in therapy. I see my therapist once, sometimes twice a week. And that's one of the things that we're working on right now, like how I'm going to be able to make that transition, because it's not easy. Like, it's not even just with a significant other. It's just in general. I haven't had to explain myself or tell anyone anything in a long time. Like, my parents cursed me out the other day because I text them and was like, oh, I'm boarding my flight now. And they're like, boarding your flight where? Like, where are you going? And I'm like, didn't I tell you I was, my mom was like, you were just at my house last night. You left here at 9:00 last night and you didn't tell me you were going anywhere. So it's hard for me. And I don't know. Hopefully we're working on that. We're going to put a pin on that. I'll get back to you guys on how that goes as well. But I do want to be, I wasn't always like this. When I was a serial dater for a long time. And when I was in relationships and when I was seriously dating, I had no problem. Hey, I'm about to do X, Y, and Z next weekend, just so you know I'm not going to be here. Or, hey, me and my girlfriends are going to happy hour after work today. Just thought I should let you know. Now I think it's because of the amount of time that I've spent single. I've been single for 5 years now. And in that time, I haven't had to consider anybody's feelings. And also, I think I haven't met anyone that I cared enough in that way to care about how they feel. I think that's like the biggest thing. Like, I don't really care how you feel. Like, we're not there yet. We're not at that point for me to care about how you feel, if that makes sense. And I know that sounds kind of really harsh. It does sound harsh, but it's real. I feel like we have to get to a certain place in getting to know each other where then I can then like, okay, let me think about how would he feel if. It's going to be hard. It's definitely going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to be hard. It's going to be interesting. And, but that's something that I want to actively work on. Like I said, maybe if I find somebody that I'm super interested in, that will change. But I didn't really even start dating till, because I've been single 5 years, till like 2.5 years after I got out my last relationship. That first year took me out. Afterwards, I ain't talked to a soul for like 1.5 years. So yeah, I don't have. So in regards to my female friendships, I don't necessarily have that same checklist, and I think it's because majority of my friends I've been friends with them for a very long time. About to say, 2 of my friends I've known them since high school. Another 2 I've known them since college. I think I only have like 1 new friend that I met in the last. We met in 2014, and she's really dope. The one thing about my group of friends, though, we've all grown together, and we're actively growing. I do have a friend that we kind of just like are not the same, but that's because we're in 2 different areas of life. My biggest thing in my friendships is your energy. You can't be sad all the time. And I know life happens. I'm sad. I have, depressive moments or anxious moments, but we can't stay there. You know what I'm saying? We can't be that way all the time. And I've had friends that I've had to let go because it's draining to be around that all the time. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm blessed that I have a group of girls that we're all growing and we're all doing it. I have teacher friends who still have don't want to minimize it. Sorry, girlfriends. I have girlfriends who are teachers and have side businesses that make them money. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why they're not little, because they make them money. I have friends who are in real estate or have properties just like I do, while maintaining a full-time job. I have people who are full-time entrepreneurs who we can sit and talk about how this shit sucks sometimes. Like, entrepreneurship and being self-employed and running a business is not always easy. It makes you want to like pull your hair out. You want to quit every day. You want to strangle people, run them over with your car, like it gets real. Like, we don't do it, we don't do it, but we think these things. And, but yeah, so we're all like, energy, your vibes, I can just say like none of my friends are broke. So that make things, that make things easier. That makes things great. We get to have fun when we go out and stuff like that. And we don't have to worry about like, I don't have that friend like, nah, they can't go with us because they ain't never got no money. I don't have one of those friends. Like, we all get together, we have a good time, we laugh, we crack jokes, and we talk business and we're all trying to get to the next level. So that's why I love my girlfriends. I love y'all. Y'all know who y'all are, my tribe, my girls. They deal with my crazy stuff every day. It's all good. My ultimate goal for creating this is just to create a safe space for the women like myself. The one that's not married and no kids. Like, it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. I see your face back there. This is a safe space for us to talk about, the things that we're dealing with. Obviously, I want to definitely take this to the next level where we're discussing other things that we can delve into, whether it's investments or having someone come talk about finances and credit. And I'm real estate, so we can do a whole segment on like real estate. So it's just opening the doors for deeper conversations about what we deal with and, just some ideas of things that they might want to dabble in the future. That's what this is about, just creating a space for us. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the beginning of an amazing conversation. You can follow us on Instagram at the Auntie Chronicles Inc. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you always know when we're dropping. And stay tuned to the conversation. Love you guys. Peace.
Auntie, 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 Auntie.